Hi everyone. This is our last module for CP 600. I'm hopeful that the class format has been meaningful and useful for you all, and I look forward to hearing your feedback at the end of the quarter. During this module, I'm going to discuss chapters 7, 8, and 9 of the Steiner text, and then chapter 14 from the Brims. First, in chapter 7 of the Steiner text, the authors discuss different medical issues that impact adolescent clients and may bring them to your door. Chronic illness is complex. Whenever a person is diagnosed with a chronic illness, it is important for him or her to find ways to manage their illness, assume this new label into their identity, and adjust their daily life accordingly. This type of change is stress-producing for the person with the illness and for that person's family system. When a teenager has a chronic illness, then the normal developmental trajectory might be altered, and he or she might respond to their illness in a number of ways. In your text, the authors discussed a number of different problems that medical professionals might encounter in their work that could lead to a referral for mental health treatment. In this chapter, the authors are speaking from their experiences within the medical model of helping. Much of this information may feel a bit redundant for you. I did include a link for updated information regarding mental health care under the new Affordable Care Act, though, or Obamacare. And your hyperlink on this slide will take you to a short article regarding the treatment of adolescents with a chronic illness. As you can see, this is about 6% of our youth. If you are planning on working with children and adolescents, then you may have an opportunity to do some of this work. If you do have an opportunity to work with a client who has a chronic illness, be aware of the impact that their illness might have on their development. One thing that I have learned from living with a chronic illness myself is that sometimes I have to grieve losses. Your authors refer to these as crisis points. For me, whenever a new symptom develops, then I am faced with adjusting my expectations of myself to meet my new functioning. Most recently, I had an episode of optic neuritis. During this exacerbation, my vision in my right eye was impacted. I couldn't see well enough to drive, and at the time I was doing outreach case management. I had to ground myself, so to speak, and work from a desk for a few weeks. My clients and I adjusted to the temporary change in circumstance. Privately, I experienced a good amount of fear because of the uncertainty with not knowing how long the exacerbation would last and trying not to catastrophize. In your clients, you might be sensitive to the ways that their illness impacts them as a member of their family, but also the ways that it impacts their private selves. Mental health issues likely affect about 20% of medically ill adolescents, according to the chapter author. The co-occurrence of medical and psychiatric conditions might impact disease management, and the symptoms of a psychiatric illness might even mimic those of a medical illness. Mental health workers are frequently utilized to assist adolescent clients with co-occurring medical and psychiatric illnesses for a variety of reasons, such as pain management and relaxation training. As you can see on this slide, it will be important to approach treatment from a stance of collaboration. Remember to meet your clients where they are and respect their person. There's a good chart on page 283 in the Steiner text that lists a number of cognitive behavioral techniques that you could use with these clients. This is also a good general list of different CBT strategies. On slide 10, I've linked an informative article on childhood and adolescent somatization. Here on this slide, I've highlighted some changes made to this category of disorders in the new DSM-5 and listed a few ways that somatization might begin for clients. In the new DSM, factitious disorders are included in the chapter on somatic, symptom, and related disorders. The hyperlink on this page will take you to an overview of factitious disorders. You may have heard this particular disorder referred to as Munchausen syndrome. This name came from the Baron Munchausen, who was a German nobleman in the 1700s who created fantastic tales about himself, and these were later published as The Surprising Adventures of Baron Munchausen. This is a rare disorder, and it's difficult to diagnose. Most often, the disorder begins in early childhood. In children and adolescents, factitious disorder imposed by another person might be even more common. In the next lecture, we'll hear about adolescent schizophrenia, and then later we'll talk some more about different disorders in the adolescent population.